Hello and welcome. It is the 11th day of November 2016. My name is Derek and welcome to the Silver Charts channel. We'll take a look at the silver chart soon, but first, a couple articles. First, from the Toronto Star. Americans crashed Canadian immigration site with 5 times the usual number of visits on election night. And apparently that's not surprising, I guess, because after seeing the reaction of so many of these Hillary supporters or anti-Trump haters, however you want to term them, the shock, the look, that's something that I don't know, I lost for words, obviously, as I'm trying to say it, that if the shit hits the fan, and I think it's not if, it's actually when, that there's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of devastation that's going to appear. But if a situation like Trump is going to president, that the panic move is to move to Canada, well, it's going to be hard to move here, although possible. I find that interesting to say the least. Now, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, from newsdoctors.com, will Trump tell Fed Chair Janet Yellen, "You're fired"? You know, I love The Apprentice, at least for a season or two. I watched it all the time. I was so into it. And it would be really cool for me to see Donald Trump bring in Janet Yellen and the entire Fed crew into the boardroom and fire them all one by one. Hey, maybe make a reality show of it. First president to do a reality show as we document the abolishment of the Federal Reserve. Now, I haven't heard really anything about Donald Trump and the Fed. I've heard very little, so we'll see as we now move into his term of presidency. Now let's move on to the charts, but before we get into silver, let's look at the Euro-Canadian cross. This is an hourly chart which spans pretty much the most part of this week and that of the election. This would have been when the election started. You get this red down move because, Clinton's going to win. And at that point, stocks went up a little bit. I think gold and silver might have went down a bit. I don't know. But boom. 1, 2, 3, 4 big green candles in a row to the upside. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock Eastern time. And we've seen this on so many different others. The stock market doing the same thing, losing so many points during that time frame. And then, of course, gold and silver. Gold was up quite a bit at one point, over 50. But it's almost like the banking cartel. It's like they're saying, ha ha, fooled you, we tricked you. We thought you were going to think the markets were going to go down and gold were going to go up on the news of the election. Ha ha. That's how I feel, as if the message of the market is telling me. And this is the global market, because other than this charade that occurred at the end of November 8th and the first part of November 9th, this market stayed in a range of 146 and 147 and a third. But during this short period of time, it got all the way up to 152 and a half almost, which is a good almost 5% move. A lot of people are going to lose or win decent or big on the move, and the high frequency trading, that's what they do. And that's what this decade, the last 4, 5, 6 years, has had a lot of, are the moves that go up fast and back down fast, or vice versa, and then giving back 2/3 of its move, or even in this case all of its move. In the Dow Jones case, getting back its move and then some more. So that seems to be how the message of the market is. Now let's move on to the silver chart. And as I was stating this week, first off, the break of 1875, which occurred not only on Wednesday, but also occurred on Thursday. And it was a significant break when it topped in at 19. That's 25 cents. That's about 1.4, 1.3% of a break above that point. Meaning, going long in here was definitely a play. It was a losing one, of course, but it was definitely in play. Now, that didn't mean you would lose a lot, because as I was stating yesterday, on Thursday, that I wasn't liking the way the action was on the break of this level to not hold it. You can see on this chart all of these lines above Fibonacci but never staying above that point. Trying multiple times and then not doing it. Showing, of course, the possibility of what occurred, that failed move, fast move to the downside. But even if you're playing that game, okay, so you bet long going at 1885, 1892 and lost. But that meant you went short, going short around 1790 or whatever level it was that you would play, and you got the win. And even furthermore, for the larger move to the downside, 1774 is a big level. So when you see it not holding as support, you think, okay, well, finally it's hit it. Maybe for the next few hours at least it could stop and maybe get a couple percent of bounce. But no, it keeps going lower. So when you see it in here, okay, that means support's not found where it's supposed to. That means the next level's in play, probably relatively fast. And this is the next level here, the previous low. And next thing I want to talk about now are the lower highs. And we're going to start off with the top in here. So every time it goes back down below the band, there's a low in here, which then makes a lower high. Goes below the band here to what is a higher low, but then another lower high. And then it goes back down here, much, much lower, to another lower high. Higher low, and then another lower high to another higher low, and another lower high, much, much lower low, and another lower high. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lower highs in a row, and a 7th is darn near definitely a huge favorite to occur. And it'll be wild if it doesn't occur. And I say that because, see, we were seeing the trap moves come into play in here as it was not holding this level well. And we know that if it didn't hold this level, fast move to the downside. So is it possible that this entire move is a failed move and you have a super duper fast move to the upside? It's possible, but I don't like its chances, but nothing would surprise me. Now, either the move today of losing $1.26 or a gain of $1.26. If it would have went up to 20, 20 and a half, I would have been just as shocked or surprised or, yep, okay, I guess you really can't tell on the news because, hey, they told us at the start of the election that Trump winning was good for gold and silver. But we all know that the reasons why the markets move is because the banking cartel is doing what they wish to choose to do. That's it. So you could almost say the reason why the stock market did so well is because the Chicago Cubs finally won the World Series. But that's obviously not true. But they told us when this thing originally topped out that it was Osama bin Laden who was captured and killed. And that was the reason why silver had to start its plunge from what was then 50 and today 17 and 1/3. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day.